Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Disneyworld Vacationer. I am your host, Tiki Lagoon Sam, and today I'm going to go over my trip report for December 2021 at Disney World. Since the last time I had this podcast, I actually have gone to 2 trips to Disney World, and also for New Year's Eve, I was at the Disneyland Resort, staying at the Marriott Anaheim, close to the convention center, which is about a 20-minute walk to Disneyland. So I'll talk a little bit about that experience as well. But as far as my trip to Disney World in December 2021, that was an amazing trip. And a few places we stayed. It was a split stay. So I started in the Grand Floridian. For one night, we were at club level, the main building, so Royal Palm Club, it's called, standard room. And then we went to Saratoga Springs for one night, used my DVC points for standard room there. And then we did one night at the Portofino Bay in Universal Orlando. We were there for one night. And then we came back to Disney and did 7 nights at the Polynesian standard studio for 7 nights to end our trip. So it was an amazing trip. Let me speak about the hotels first. So Grand Floridian club level, best club level, I think, from what I've seen and experienced at Disney World. They stepped up their game with their food that they have. I stayed there one other time before the pandemic, so I experienced the Grand Floridian's club level, and their food was better than it was before the pandemic, so it was amazing. I was really surprised about that. Some of the things that they had, like breakfast, they had this egg with potato and cheese on top of it. It's a little plate. It was like a potato hash on top of like a scrambled egg. It was so good. So good. That was for breakfast. They also had smoked salmon. This was a Sunday, and from what I hear, Sundays or maybe just weekends they have smoked salmon. So their smoked salmon seemed like it was cured in-house. So it wasn't like the regular grocery store smoked salmon that you get. So I had that with bagel and cream cheese. It was amazing. Their tea bags that they get is called London Strand tea bags, which are like big leaf teas that you can't order in the U.S. It's actually from the U.K. That was awesome. They had the croissant. They had the regular stuff they had before the pandemic. They had Uncrustables, which is the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That was a surprise hit with the family, including myself. They're so good. I had to get a few of those. And they had the yogurt and the oatmeal, cereal, boiled egg for breakfast. I have it all on my video on my YouTube. You can see it. That was the breakfast. It was from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., I believe. And then they had just some snacks throughout the day. They had individual bags of chips, kettle cooked chips, really good, and teas and things like that. And then the main thing, which is the hors d'oeuvres, they had it from 5 to 7 p.m. The good thing about club level is you get access your check-in day and your check-out day. So I had access for 2 days of club level food and the main building and the lounge and everything. So I definitely took advantage of it. They had the first night they had salmon. Actually, they had a grilled salmon for both nights, the Sunday night and Monday night. Salmon was amazing. They had turkey meatballs and marinara pasta on the first night as well. I think they had some sort of shrimp thing. They had a duck cheese balls. They had some like veggies like asparagus and things like that. The second night they had short ribs, which were like a melt off the bone type of short rib pieces in like I think it was a red wine sauce or something. And those are the main thing. And they had also the Uncrustables and things like that. The desserts, they had desserts and cordials from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And you could go and ask for any type of beer, wine, and all that stuff. They didn't have it out, but you would ask them and they would bring it for you. The desserts were okay. I mean, they had the Rice Krispie treats, chocolate chip cookies. They had a few fancy desserts, this tarts, and like a fruit tart that was really good. They had like special like a chocolate gingerbread type of mousse. So that was nice. But the best thing is the hors d'oeuvres and the breakfast. So that was really good. So the standard view that we had a standard view in the main building overlooking the main pool. And to the side, you can see the Polynesian and the lake. It was beautiful. For standard view, that was really, really nice. So that we really enjoyed. So that's the best club level. The other club level I stayed at was in Polynesian. Polynesian has nicer views, but the actual club level itself is not as good. The food, at least pre-pandemic, wasn't as good as Grand Floridian's, even pre-pandemic. So I would opt for Grand Floridian's. Saratoga Springs. Saratoga Springs is so beautiful, so underrated. Just the atmosphere, walking outside. It has its own lake, and the boat ride to Disney Springs to Port Orleans. The vibe is very much Port Orleans Riverside vibe. So if you like Port Orleans Riverside, definitely check out even just the walk around Saratoga Springs. Amazing. The room was recently renovated, very beautiful. We were for adults though, so a standard DVC room with 4 adults was a little tight. I could definitely feel the difference compared to like the Grand Floridian room or the Polynesian that we'll be going to. But they actually put us in first in like I had standard rooms, not preferred rooms, so we were in the paddock section. The paddock section I actually prefer. It's very nice. It has a pool right next to it with a slide. The lake, you can ask for a lake view, and the lake view from the paddock section is so beautiful. The walk from there to the main building and to Disney Springs isn't too bad. I think it's located right between the two, so not as close as some of the other sections to each place. Like the main building has a section closer to it, so does Disney Springs, but it's in the middle of both of them, so you could get to either of them in about 15-minute walk or so. So I really like that location. They put us in a handicap room, which the view from the handicap room was so nice of the lake. We were like right in the middle of the building. We had a center view of the lake. The roll-in shower was much better in my opinion than the shower tub combos they have. So I prefer walk-in showers. Roll-in showers has like the handicap things going on in there, but I still prefer it to shower tub combos. So Saratoga Springs, beautiful, but a little tight for 4 adults. And then Portofino Bay. So we went to Portofino Bay for one night. The check-in day and the checkout day were at Universal. And I have to say, Portofino Bay Hotel is amazing. It is, the beds is so comfortable. I think the most comfortable beds, even including compared to Grand Floridian, Polynesian, all those. The room was bigger, felt bigger than the other rooms that I stayed in, including Grand Floridian. Polynesian has 2 bathrooms in the DVC, so the thing is, it's a bigger room, but you don't feel it because it's dedicated to the 2 bathrooms. So the actual room area in the Portofino Bay is bigger. And actually, Portofino Bay, we stayed in, they upgraded us for free to the deluxe room, which includes a walk-in shower. That's the main difference. room size is the same as their standard rooms. Their bathroom is big and really nice. The room is big and really nice. So I really like that. The decor in the Polynesian is what I prefer, though. However, going to Universal, that's definitely where I would stay, Portofino Bay. I have an annual pass there as well as Disney World, so I got the annual pass discount, which it was a great deal. It was like $220 a night at the Portofino Bay. Out of all the hotels, and I've stayed at a few of them in Universal, Portofino Bay is the most luxurious and most beautiful in my opinion. Although all of them have something going for them. So Portofino Bay, beautiful. I wouldn't hesitate to stay there again. I will say, moving so many times was a bit of a hassle, especially all the luggage we had, and being 4 adults, we had a lot of stuff, including a wheelchair. So that was kind of tough, but I do like experiencing different hotels and different themes. So I would probably pare it down to 2 if I could. So I would say no more than 2 different hotels. But also staying at Universal, you want to experience that as well. The thing I felt this time, though, even though I love Universal, especially Harry Potter, and that's the reason we go, I felt even going there for 1 night, 2 days, took away a lot from Disney World. So if you're going to do Universal, I would have to say tack it on, like add more days to your trip. Don't take away from Disney, because Disney, we were there for like a total of 12 days and like 9 days at Disney, 2 days at Universal, and we needed more time at Disney. I felt that Universal, I probably would have rather just stayed at Disney and then added on Universal, even though I had a great time and the hotel was awesome. But it did definitely, we felt the takeaway from being in Disney. So we don't go full stink, as they say, from morning to night at the theme parks. We take our time. We like to sleep in, enjoy the hotels, look at all the different hotels, walk around Disney Springs, all that. So it takes us a lot of time to do things. So if you haven't been to Universal, definitely try it. But Disney requires a whole lot of time, and before going on the trip, we were all thinking together like, oh, I can't wait to also go to Universal. If we don't book it, we'll probably miss it when we're there. But when you're at Disney and we got there, we didn't think about, oh, we're gonna go to Universal. We're having such a good time. So, and last place we stayed at was the Polynesian, and when you walk through the Polynesian, you get to the Polynesian, all the stress just melts away. It's so beautiful. The new entryway that they made with the waterfalls and the trees and the tiki torches, so beautiful, such a wonderful entrance. The smell inside the lobbies, awesome. Walking through, when you go through the lobby, outdoors, and you see Cinderella Castle in the background, and you see the lake, and then you see the pool. It's just such a beautiful view and atmosphere at the Polynesian. The thing I realize is being around the Seven Seas Lagoon, which is the monorail loop and the Wilderness Lodge, even that location, it's completely different than the other locations in Disney World. Even though they all have their beauty, like Animal Kingdom Lodge has its beauty, Boardwalk has its own feel to it, Yacht Club, Beach Club, Saratoga Springs. It's just another level when you're around the Seven Seas Lagoon. It's something you can't see when you're watching videos on YouTube or reading about. But when you go there and you experience it being there, the feeling is elevated. The lake is beautiful, and just the scenery around, knowing that Magic Kingdom is there, you hear some sounds from Magic Kingdom, the boat rides especially. the beach area that we would sit in the Polynesian. You could see us in the Polynesian beach a lot during this trip, just relaxing there, taking a lot of boat rides. Is such a wonderful vacation experience. It really puts you in a good mood with the weather that we had, which was beautiful at the time in December. I I would say that location is elevated above all others, even though I love all the different resorts and themes, but being in around Seven Seas Lagoon is something else. Particularly for the Polynesian, the DVC room is much more beautiful than the Moana room that they redid at the regular hotel side of the Polynesian. It felt very cold in the Moana room when I stayed there about a year ago. The floors, it's like a grayish brown laminate floor, which I wasn't too fond of. I like carpet better, even though laminate can be cleaned easier. It's just warmer having like a carpet. And it felt a little crammed with the type of furniture they had in the Polynesian's refurbished Moana rooms. But in the Vacation Club, which was also recently refurbished, their DVC room, it's very roomy, feels cozier. They actually have carpeting in the bedroom area versus they have a laminate in the entryway when you enter the room, which I love too. I mean, it's dark wood floor, which is beautiful, not a grayish color that the Moana rooms have. Also, the double bathroom where you have one bathroom but two showers, and the waterfall shower, beautiful, love it. I did like the room better at the Polynesian, the DVC room, before they refurbished it. As far as the colors, they had like a reds, oranges. The walls, they were like a blue colored wall in the bathroom. Now it's like a little more colorless. They colored it white. The drapery is more white and blue, but I preferred the orange and red. Felt a little warmer, but still nice. But the big upgrade to the new room at the Polynesian and the DVC buildings is the pull-down Murphy bed now instead of a pull-out couch for the second bed. And that was really comfortable, very nice. I'm so glad that they're doing that in the DVC rooms now, along with Saratoga. And I hope they continue to do that in the DVC rooms, because nobody wants to sleep in a pull-out couch. But a pull-down full Murphy queen-size bed, beautiful, perfect. So that I really enjoyed. The room is very spacious, only second to the Portofino Bay room, which felt bigger in the living area. But still very roomy, very comfortable, even for 4 adults. I also slept in the little pull-down Murphy bed that they have under the TV table, and I'm 5'8", and I fit there, and it wasn't uncomfortable. So you can have an adult actually sleep on those and be fine. Now, when you want to toss and turn, I like to toss and turn at night. That's a little difficult, but it's doable, especially if you want to have your own little bed. So that was very nice. So the rankings as of now, one other thing I would say is we did miss staying at the Wilderness Lodge on the trip. And if I could have chosen, I would have replaced Saratoga with Wilderness Lodge. So here's my rankings. I used to struggle between Grand Floridian and Polynesian, and I would still say they're like 1A, 1B. I'd still say Polynesian edges out a little bit more because of the views you have from the beach, and the vibe is a little more relaxed. But Grand Floridian also puts me in such a good mood, and it's bright and beautiful. So those two are at the top. Right below that would be Wilderness Lodge, specifically Boulder Ridge, which feels more like outdoorsy, which I like. And then Animal Kingdom Lodge, I would put below that. Yeah, and then close to Animal Kingdom Lodge, I would put Saratoga Springs. So, Animal Kingdom Lodge, very cozy, very nice, but I would prefer Wilderness Lodge and the other resorts around the Seven Seas Lagoon. The food, some of the places that really stood out to me is Rainforest Cafe at Animal Kingdom. I love Rainforest Cafe at Animal Kingdom. Specifically, I go for they have this salmon shrimp combo with this amazing sweet Hawaiian glaze on the salmon. Unbelievable. That's always been there, and I always make it a point to go to Rainforest Cafe to get that, specifically that salmon with the Hawaiian glaze. So good. What else? Ohana. Ohana was so good. My brother was the one that actually experienced it, but he had so much leftover, and they let him bring his leftovers that it was 2 meals for him. So it was $55, but he was able to eat it later as well for another meal the next day and heat it up in the DVC room in the microwave. So he said the food was unbelievable, amazing, definitely worth it, great experience. I also really enjoy the quick service at Grand Floridian, especially their mac and cheese. They don't use like regular nacho cheese on their mac and cheese. It's like this special creamy cheese sauce. It's amazing. Their Caesar salad and specifically their house-made Caesar dressing, unbelievable. That was really good. We ate at Brown Derby. We got the salmon, and which was kind of a letdown compared to what they used to have on our last trip, which was it was a halibut, I think, or whitefish, and that was much better than the salmon. The salmon was kind of plain, especially compared to having the Rainforest Cafe salmon for much cheaper. So the atmosphere in Brown Derby is really nice, but I wouldn't get the salmon again. I would get the other fish if you like fish, if they have it at the time you go, because they change their menu all the time. One thing that was really, really disappointing was Steakhouse 71. We were really looking forward to it. I was really, really looking forward to it because of so many great things I hear about it. And we were getting towards the end of our trip, and I wasn't able to make it to the restaurant to sit there and eat because of the timing of all the things that was going on. So I ended up getting to go, and I ordered the fork and knife Caesar salad. I had a side of the au gratin potatoes, which is the scallop potatoes. I got the vegetable Wellington, which is a vegan dish, but people say it's amazing in the reviews. It's instead of a beef Wellington, it's like veggies and mushrooms and things like that in a crisp in a roll of bread, of like a croissant type of puff pastry. And yeah, that's what I ordered, and I made it a point to eat it right when I got it, like quickly, so that while it's hot I get the actual taste of it and how it's supposed to be. And what was really, really disappointing is everything was so salted and so salty, I couldn't eat more than a few bites of everything, including the Caesar salad. The dressing was extremely salty, and it was oily, more oily than creamy. It was very baffling to me how you mess up Caesar dressing that much. The au gratin scallop potatoes, again, so salty, I couldn't have more than a few bites. The vegetable Wellington, the sauce, it had this like a red type of like not a chili sauce. It was like it was some sort of red sauce, but the taste was very underwhelming. I had a few bites, and this wasn't specifically very salty, even though it was salty, not as salty as the other dishes, but just the taste wasn't there. So I was so disappointed in Steakhouse 71. I'm going to be trying different places. I don't think I'll be going back there for a bit. Some of the other standout foods that we had, the corn on the cob is a must at Animal Kingdom. So good. And they put this, they dip it in butter and they put this like Indian spices on it. Very good. A little expensive. I think it was about $5, but very tasty, very enjoyable. Also, I gotta say, Animal Kingdom, so beautiful. If you take the time to really, instead of going for rides, but just atmosphere, walking around, Animal Kingdom is up there. But anyways, to continue with food, some more standouts was, the corn on the cob. Via Napoli, the best pizza in Disney World and in a lot of places outside of Disney World that I've had. I get the white pizza. Usually I get half white pizza, half regular pizza with mushrooms. The white pizza is so good. The bread, the dough, it's Italian water they import and they use on it, so it's very authentic. Best pizza out of 90% of pizzas in the world that I've had. So that was amazing. Cannot miss on every trip. I had a crepe from the new crepe place in the expansion area for France in Epcot, and the crepe was very good. I had I think it was Nutella that I had, or it was chocolate. Very fresh, very good, very nice. Definitely recommended. And we were there during the Festival of the Holidays at Epcot, so they had the food booths. And I had, from France, there was this smoked salmon with a dill buttercream on it, on I think it was a brioche type bread. And I wasn't expecting too much from it, but wow, what a taste. So good. That was one of our favorites. Also, we had this, it was a latke with smoked salmon on it, which was good, but not that great. Latke is like a potato, like a fried potato patty with smoked salmon on it and this sour cream sauce on top. Pretty good, but nothing special. Oh, the best thing I actually had, and I think this is only during the festival because it's kind of weird, because in Morocco they used to have the quick service, which is now turned into like a festival food center, but they might have it year round. But the chicken skewer, oh my goodness, the chicken skewer, you have to get it. It's I think it was only like $4, maybe $5, but they give you a skewer with like 3 or 4 pieces of grilled chicken on it with these special spices, and it had that char flavor. It was juicy. It was not hard to chew. It was the perfect chicken bites that I've had in Disney World, I think, from what I remember. So that's a must do. It came with I think there was some sort of like a white sauce on it a little bit, but it was the chicken itself, the flavor, it was perfect. Do not miss that. I also had the bread from there. They put this special Middle Eastern bread that they bake in a oven, in a fire oven that they have that you can see, with these different little sauces. The sauces reminded me of in Sanaa, Animal Kingdom Lodge, where you get the bread service. It felt like it was like 3 of those sauces: a sweet one, a green spicy one, and a hummus one. So that was really good. Don't miss that. And I must say, probably part of the top 2 of my all-time favorite restaurants in all of Orlando at Universal, actually, in Islands of Adventure. MYTHOS. Oh my goodness. Have to go there. The decor is so beautiful. I always get the salmon. They have a really good salmon. It's cooked perfectly, crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, with like a mashed potato type of accompaniment. Pickled pickled onions, pickled red onions, which is really good. Amazing entree, and then the best dessert I think in all of Florida, which is I think it's a flourless chocolate cake. I think they call it the OOEY banana chocolate cake. Unbelievable! It's so moist. It comes hot with a scoop of ice cream on top. I ask them to do vanilla. They usually do like a peanut butter ice cream, and banana, fresh cut banana pieces with some caramel sauce. Don't miss it. So good. And we did not do, as far as visiting the parks and going on the rides, we didn't do Genie Plus. I hate the fact that they're charging for Lightning Lane and Fast Pass. I'm very old school, and I came to expect having the selection of doing the Fast Passes. I loved planning the trips. It was fun for me. It wasn't a hectic thing. It was a milestone to get to, that hey, I'm going on a trip, so I'm going to do my fast pass selection soon, and then I just have to wait whatever it was, 60 days until my trip. So we didn't use that, but we did use the DAS system, so we weren't missing out much, because the DAS system, the Disability Access Service, which we qualified for, it's very reminiscent of like the paper fast passes. So when you go to when you enter the parks, you can go on your phone and book a ride that says it's a 60-minute wait. So you can do it all on your app now, and you select the ride and you return there in, let's say, 60 minutes. They take 10 minutes off of it, so 50 minutes you go on the ride through the Lightning Lane. So if you don't know if you qualify, speak to a cast member either on chat 60 days before your trip, or when you get there in the guest services at any of the theme parks, and they'll tell you if you qualify for it. So we were able to go on all the wonderful big rides, including Seven Dwarf Mine Train and Magic Kingdom, and the Remy ride, which you still have to get at the time it was still you have to get a reservation for, and then you can use the DAS pass on it. So without the reservation, you can go on it either way. Went on that, and I gotta say, Remy was a very nice ride. It was cute. The queue was beautiful. We enjoyed it. It's not a e-ticket attraction. It's not like, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Rise of the Resistance. This is more of a compliment, and really enjoyed it. What really surprised us, which we did a long time ago and hadn't seen in a while, was Impressions de France, which is it's not 360 degree movie theater around you in France. It's 180, I believe, and you sit down. But in France, the last hour and a half, 2 hours of park opening, they switched the theater from a Beauty and the Beast sing-along to Impressions de France, and it shows you all the different beautiful locations in Paris and France, and it was so beautiful. Do not miss it if you can make it there and make the time to go, and I would suggest going out of your way to go to it. Wonderful experience, so good. We did the Beauty and the Beast sing-along, which it was enjoyable, but it was a one and done. This is, I need to do it every time I go to Epcot now, or at least once during every trip. On that note, also PhilharMagic and Magic Kingdom, so beautiful. They updated the the film now to be digital, so the 3D is much better. It's clearer to see. Before it was very tough. It was rough on your eyes. Now, very nice. The Coco scene is beautiful that they added. They didn't take anything away, so it's air conditioned, it's relaxing, it's nice, it's long. The music is so beautiful, all the different music they play through it. Don't miss PhilharMagic. That's very underrated. Um, we did the Avatar Flight of Passage, which we really enjoyed. I noticed the 3D has been deteriorating on it. I don't know if it's the glasses, but in some parts of the film, when you're on the ride, it's a little difficult to see the 3D, and it blurs a little bit. So that might be something they need to work on. But yeah, enjoyed the rides. Went on Jingle Cruise. That was fun. Prefer that to the Disneyland version because it's extended and they have a cave where the Disneyland version doesn't. People Mover, a must. Probably my favorite ride. So enjoyable, especially if you go at night. You'll see more. Your eyes adjust because it's dark outside, so you can see more when the indoor portions of the People Mover, when you see the stars through Space Mountain when you pass through it. Beautiful. Love People Mover. Oh, and the big thing actually is the new 50th shows that they have. So I am a huge lover of the old shows Disney used to have, especially Wishes. Nothing tops the Wishes music and the feeling you would get watching Wishes. And in Epcot, when they had, what was it called? Now I forgot the name. Oh my goodness gracious. What kind of Disney fan am I? Harmonious is the new one. It'll come to me. But here's the thing. So when you watch them on TV or YouTube and you watch the videos and the reactions, most people don't like Enchantment. They don't like Enchantment. They like Harmonious more than Enchantment. But still they prefer the old shows to the new ones, which I agree to. But here's what's surprising for me after watching them in person. Now again, I like the old shows. Happily Ever After was beautiful. I was such a fan of it. I still like the music of Wishes more, but Happily Ever After, especially the Pirates of the Caribbean part, when Tink flies, you get so emotional with the music. The music was really nice. I really enjoyed Happily Ever After. Enchantment was not as good as Happily Ever After, as many of you probably already assume or know or feel. But Enchantment was beautiful in person. It really was. Close to the castle, I think, is better than being on Main Street, because Main Street has projections, but not that much. But being close to the castle and seeing the projections they have on the castle, the projections is better than the projections they had at Happily Ever After. Some of the music does get to you, actually, when you're there in person with the full bass and just the surroundings and being there. So it's much better in person. There were a few points where I got a little emotional. The thing you don't see through video and you only see experiencing it while you're there is the lighting around you. We were close to the statue area, so closer to the castle, not on Main Street, and I don't think you would feel it as much on Main Street. In fact, you wouldn't. The lighting they added, it was never this prominent or this beautiful in any of the other shows they've had. They added colorful lights and beams and sparkly things all around you, including in the trees, that I saw a little bit of during Happily Ever After, but it's full blown now with this show. And this really ups the show. the different colors they do, the fog effects, the purples, yellows, gold, blue. Just you're surrounded by colors, not just on the castle, not in the sky or the fireworks, but the spotlights they put in the crowd, in the area, in the trees. That really pushed this show to the next level. You won't get that from the videos. You'll get it when you're there. So give it a chance, go to it. It's something that I wanted to watch over and over again. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And I'm not as pissed as I was when I hadn't seen it in person and they took away Happily Ever After. Overall, Happily Ever After gets you more emotional. And again, the Pirates of the Caribbean scene with the music, I love that song. And just the different things that they had going on, Aladdin fighting and the genie and everything. I did miss that, but this is a beautiful show. The fireworks are bigger as well. So I enjoy it now. And I'm not mad at it being there in Magic Kingdom and getting rid of Happily Ever After, although I would still prefer Happily Ever After. I just like the lighting and everything that you feel when you're there. But Harmonious, what a huge letdown. Harmonious, we watched it once and we wouldn't watch it again. That's how we felt. I don't know how the people that I read reviews of and watch on YouTube and they say Harmonious is spectacular versus Enchantment, which is not as much. Here's a problem with Harmonious. The music is so loud, screaming at the top of your lungs. They got 3 different songs going at the same time and they're all yelling as much as they can. It's ridiculous. It doesn't get it. You don't connect with it. It's, I'm not as big of a, I don't have as big of an issue that they're using IP, but it's not used in a good way. It's just a bunch of yelling. It's not cohesive. You can tell the fireworks have been reduced drastically from what they used to have. Reflections of Earth. That was I loved the Reflections of Earth. Even though the middle section dragged, the music would take you through it. You would get emotional. The fires. I loved that show. But yeah, the screens don't really add much to it, to me, in my opinion. It's an eyesore during the day, not as much as I thought it would have been because it's there. It is an eyesore. I would have rather not have it there, but it is what it is. However, the payoff isn't worth it. The screens don't add much to it, and we had a wonderful view. We watched from the Japan pavilion, so we could see the huge circle Stargate screen and everything. Fireworks, again, they're reduced. The music selection, if they played the original songs and not all together at the same time with people yelling it would have been better. But no, I don't like it. There was not really much original music even there. I don't feel like going back to see it, even though Enchantment, I would make it a point to go see it again and again. So Harmonious, no, what a waste. Hopefully they'll update and change and add nice emotional music or something original and redo all the yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs of singers. So that was what I thought of that. Merchandise, oh boy, went overboard on the merchandise. The Spirit jersey was my favorite thing that I got. You'll see in my videos that I went early morning when I was staying in Polynesian. I heard that it was released, and I went a couple times. It was sold out, and one time that I went, it was restocked, and I got there in time. But yeah, if you see anything that you want, just get it early, and just know that you can return it before you leave. So in case it sells out, then you don't kick yourself. Yeah, I got the Castle Collection Spirit jersey, which is my favorite thing I got. Beautiful looking castle on the back of it, and in gold letters, Walt Disney World across the top. It's a little sparkly. That was really nice. Unfortunately, they ran out of the backpack that I had seen on YouTube, which it has like one compartment of like a cooling area. You put your drinks and food in it, and it was blue with a Mickey at 50th anniversary. They didn't have that in stock. But yeah, it's a lot of merchandise, so just keep checking. The best place to check if something's sold out is Emporium and Magic Kingdom and Disney Springs World of Disney. Those are the two locations that get shipments every day from what I was told, except Sundays. So check them in the mornings if you don't get what you want. So overall, wonderful trip. The next trip I'll be going on right now is I have booked in May of 2022. And I might do a short off-site trip in February just to hit the Festival of the Arts at Epcot, which is I love. The food is usually pretty good, and they have so many artists that sign the paintings that they're selling and the drawings that it's a really fun time. So until then, thank you for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment, and I'll respond as I can. And look forward to the next time. Get to Disney. Have a wonderful day.